before we get started on the cooking, I just wanted to take a moment to celebrate the fact that, oh my God, we finally hit 30,000 subscribers and more. What? Can I get a whoop whoop? Hello, hello, hello. We just wanted to pop in here before the video starts and say thank you so much for 30K, for 30,000 of you for subscribing to Kenton and Habiba.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and also wishing everyone the best. And yeah, celebrate with us. But thanks to you and for the growth. It wasn't for you guys, and again, all the wonderful people out there. Really appreciate it all over the world. Thank you so much.
On behalf of my siblings and I, we want to also thank you guys for helping my mom reach 30,000 subscribers on her channel.
Seriously, thank you so much. We really have appreciated you. To all our new subscribers, welcome. To all our OGs, thank you so much for supporting us on this journey. I never thought we would get here. This feels like it took forever because, believe it or not, we started on YouTube 5 years ago, literally. And when I first started posting videos, I had no idea. I was posting everything. Hair videos, cooking videos, home and garden, and I still do a lot of those things, but there really wasn't any rhyme or reason. And then the other interesting thing was when we first started, I honestly didn't want any of my patients or any of my, associates to know that we were on YouTube, which is why the channel was called Kenton and Habiba, because I didn't want patients to be able to look up Habiba to now or Doctor to now. But anyway, we have evolved. And the fact that I try to keep the content positive, uplifting, we're not just here to entertain, but here to educate. We decided that, you know what? I am done hiding. We are going to share this with the world. And so thank you so much for 30,000 of you subscribing. And I know there are a lot of y'all that watch us and aren't subscribed. Anyway, that was our first vlog. Our first vlog 5 years ago. So yeah, we really appreciate all of you, and you have been here to watch us grow, and I can't wait for even more of you to join the family. Look how Miriam was so cute back then. Back when she used to smile. Anyway, I also have to say, that this vaccine video that I was so apprehensive about posting has done so well, and so many of you have subscribed because of that video. So we really appreciate that as well. I couldn't believe how many comments have come in showing us that you resonate with the video. Most of them have been very positive. A lot of them have different points of view, but the point is that we need to keep a positive dialogue and not insult each other, but try to understand where each other is coming from. So thank you so much again to all the new subscribers that have joined us from this video. All right, let's start cooking. Water is life. I'm gonna get my glass of water first. Where's your water? All right, let's get these potatoes started, because the first thing I'm going to do is do some seasoned potatoes, right? So since Khalid is here briefly, he came to visit, I'm making a little bit more than I normally would. So we're making seasoned home fries. So these are not your basic fries, and these are oven baked, so they should be a little bit healthier, but you're still going to get the flavor and the crunch. So yeah, you just need a basic potato peeler. Hopefully everybody has this in their kitchen. I think it's absolutely necessary, and it works so well. I'm going to preheat the oven to 350. I took out my tilapia from the freezer. This is the skinless, boneless, ready to cook vacuum sealed tilapia, which I got from Walmart. I love these 4-pound bags because you get to, store them in your fridge and not have to shop so frequently. Anyway, they are frozen solid, and I'm taking out about 2 fillets per person. While my fish is thawing out, I wash my peeled potatoes really well. everything I'm making today you can find ready-made in any U.S. supermarket. But it's loaded with preservatives and colors and dyes and all kinds of things. So we're going to make it ourselves, right? Because we know what we're putting in our food. Anyway, so I sliced the potato in half, and then each half I cut into 4 wedges. So basically every potato is going to give me about 8 wedges in whole. So this meal was inspired by our time living in a small town where we used to drive across the border to South Carolina to get fish on Fridays. And it would be nice and hot and greasy on white bread. But I thought, let's elevate it. Let's make it a little bit more healthy and gluten-free, by the way, because we are gluten intolerant. Anyway, you're going to need a lot of spice for your potatoes. And when I say spice, I don't mean salt. I mean pepper, paprika, garlic powder, all that good spice. So we want a lot of flavor without it being super salty. So you can hold the salt until it is done. For those who want to add salt, they can. But I personally prefer not to add salt to this. I love the bright orange that turmeric gives to the fries. And, turmeric's super healthy. Anyway, I'm adding a little bit of oil that I'm going to toss and then go ahead and put it in my aluminum foil pan. And I have enough potato wedges to go into 2 pans. So I try to spread out the seasoned potato wedges so that when they bake, they are well cooked and crispy on the outside and not on top of each other. So in the oven, they'll go for about 45 minutes to an hour on 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And now I can move on to making the coleslaw. This is the fun, colorful part. I love red cabbage. Typically, coleslaw is made with green cabbage, the basic cabbage, and then they'll just sprinkle a little red cabbage. But here, we're making it all with the red cabbage. I'm also going to add an apple for a little bit of crisp, sweet tanginess. And I also have my carrots. Now, these are baby carrots. Usually you want cooking carrots that you can shred easily, But this is what I had in my fridge, so that's what I'm going to use. I also have half of a orange bell pepper. If you have green or red, you can use that. I also have some scallions. I'm going to add that. If you don't like scallions, don't add it. But that's what I'm going to do. Let's go get a nice bowl. I need a large enough bowl to toss all these ingredients. As you may know, cabbage is super, super healthy for you. Make sure you cut out the core. But anyway, raw cabbage is loaded with vitamin C, a ton other vitamins, vitamin K, magnesium. I mean, it is really nutritious for you. And normally I stay away from raw cabbage, but for some reason, when you add that apple cider and lemon juice, it is absolutely delicious, and there's like a major magic that seems to happen, and it's actually good for the stomach, so it really doesn't bother me. And you will not regret it if you try this recipe. Anyway, get your cabbage really, really thin. Super, super thin is what I'm trying to do here. As fine as you can get that cabbage. And get rid of any big pieces. And then I go back and I dice the thin slices so that I can get as fine a shred as possible. Now you can go to the supermarket, obviously, and buy it already pre-made, but I think it's so much healthier when you know that you did this yourself and there's nothing added, and it tends to spoil less quickly. I know that when I buy some of these packets from the supermarket, once you open them, they spoil a little faster. Here I can control how much I make, and what I put again into my slaw. So just make sure it's finely, finely sliced and then diced. Your pieces should be very small. Adding that to a bowl. And that's only a quarter of the cabbage. So there's another quarter added here. And now I have half a cabbage that I have finely diced and chopped. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my bell pepper, which is also loaded with vitamin C. And as much as possible, try to eat, raw vegetables. I know a lot of people don't like raw vegetables. They always cook them. Maybe they're afraid that, I'm not sure what the main reason is why a lot of ethnic people don't eat raw vegetables. But this has been my observation. Anyway, if you can eat raw vegetables often, try. So I'm dicing it here. And again, if you don't have orange, use red or use green, because honestly, all of these vegetables can be eaten raw. But we're trying to add a lot more nutrition to our diet, fiber, and also I just love the vivid colors. I mean, seriously, look how pretty that is already. I love the pop of colors. Now we're going to go in with our carrots. You can also buy shredded carrots in your supermarket already made. But here I am trying to torture myself. And it was so annoying with these mini baby carrots. Also be very careful because sometimes these shredders or graters can really cut you. Anyway, I have my shredded carrot. Maybe, you might have a different device to shred your carrot. Whatever you have, that's fine. Anyway, look at this vivid color. I just love this bright orange on top of the purple. And it's going to look so pretty when we're done. All right, now for the apple. Pretty easy. Cut your apple in 2 and then in 4. And we're going to take away the core, the center of the apple. So I'm going to add some fresh lemon juice to the apple wedges because that is the best way to keep them from going brown. And it actually adds a nice flavor to them, so you get that very tangy, citrusy flavor to the apples. Then I slice them very thin, try to get some nice thin slices of the apple. And it's really not hard. Just slice them really thin. And then you'll see we're going to line them up and cut them into matchsticks. So here are my thin slices of apple. I've lined them up, stacked them on top of each other, and now I'm just slicing them to make really nice, neat matchsticks. Just be careful not to cut your fingers. But yeah, it comes out really pretty, really fine, and that's going to go really well in the coleslaw. I'm adding a little bit more lemon just to make sure it doesn't go brown and it stays nice and fresh and bright looking. So adding that to my bowl of cabbage and carrots. Typically coleslaw is just 2 main ingredients, cabbage and carrots, and then the dressing. But like I said, we're trying to, elevate it a little bit, add a little bit more pops of color and also nice texture. So here's the scallions. And you guys know normally I have scallions growing out in the garden or out in some pots outside. But now that it's fall, the scallions have kind of withered away. So these are supermarket scallions. Okay, let's make the dressing. You're going to need some mayonnaise. And in the South, they favor Duke's mayonnaise. Or you can use Hellmann's. Sugar, garlic powder, black pepper, onion powder, some salt, which is optional. I personally don't want to use it. And some apple cider vinegar. I got the small container and I got this giant amount because apple cider vinegar is amazing and you can use it for so many different things. So you're going to need at least half a cup of mayonnaise. And I'm telling you, once you try this homemade version of coleslaw dressing, you'll never buy the store-bought one again. You're going to need 3 tablespoons of sugar. Hey, if you're diabetic, then use less or don't use any sugar at all.
1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon garlic powder, about 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. So I'm actually going to skip the salt because I feel like you get the taste or sensation of salt when you use apple cider vinegar.
All right, you're going to mix your ingredients really well because you got to make sure that sugar dissolves and that you don't have any grains. And just watch the magic. Watch the magic. I'm telling you, this stuff is delicious. Now pour it all over your cabbage, carrots, apple mix, and oh, it is heaven. I'm telling you, it is heaven. Wait and see. So yeah, just make sure you scoop all that goodness out. And initially you'll think that you don't have enough dressing, but you do. Because once you mix it and you let this sit in the fridge, it is perfect. It is perfect. So this salad or coleslaw tastes even better once you've refrigerated it for a few hours. So it's the kind of thing you want to do first and then do any other cooking you have and then come back to it and it's ready. I mean, yes, you can make it and have it ready immediately, but I'm telling you, it tastes better when everything marinates and that apple cider gets into the cabbage. And I think that really has a lot to do with what destroys all those gassy feelings people have when they eat cabbage normally. That apple cider it just gets rid of all of that. All right, our potatoes are looking good. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Tell me that doesn't look good. Nicely seasoned, crunchy, hot, delicious. All right, let's focus on the fish. This is what we came for, the fish. The fish like your mama's Fish Friday, just better, elevated, healthier. I am doing the most today. Anyway, so season your thawed out fish. Make sure your fish is not frozen, okay? So season it on both sides. Now, this adobo that I'm using does have salt in it because I want the fish to have a little bit more flavor, you know? You know, a lot of times fish can be kind of bland, so we want it to be seasoned. So paprika, black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, all that good stuff. Whatever your favorite seasoning is, go ahead and do it. And then this is where the magic happens. I'm going to break 2 eggs. Gonna whisk the eggs really well. And then, wait for it, mayonnaise. I know, what is she doing? Mayonnaise. You're gonna add some mayonnaise to the 2 eggs before we dunk the fish in it. I know it doesn't make sense right now, but it will. It really will. You know, normally when you batter fish, the egg just kind of slides off. But when you add mayonnaise to it, it kind of sits on it, and then also you get a better crust. So the fish ends up being a little bit more crispier on the outside with a nice flaky crust. So look at that nice cream that I'm drizzling all over my raw seasoned fish. Okay? So I'm going to make sure every piece of my fish has been covered, slathered in that nice creamy mixture. And again, that creamy mixture is 2 ingredients only. 2 eggs and about half a cup of mayonnaise. That's it. So slather it all over. Of course, you're going to need some oil of choice and a frying pan. You know that pretty frying pan of yours? Not that one. Get the beat up old frying pan because frying fish is messy, okay? Then you're also going to need some paper towels and a rack to make sure that the fish drains properly. All right, and then we're going to be using some cornstarch and rice flour. So you can use regular wheat flour if you want, but I honestly feel like cornstarch and rice flour gives you a crispier, lighter batter. And it reminds me of like Korean fried chicken wings. They're very light, very crunchy, delicious. Anyway, so I got my flour. And now I'm going to add seasoning to it. So I want you to think of, you know, Louisiana fish fry that you can buy the pre-made mix. You can make your own, okay? You can make your own. Just follow. So I'm adding all this seasoning to my flour, my rice flour, cornstarch mix, and now I have a delicious crust in the making. So let's get our fish and dunk it gently into that flour. And we're going to make sure every nook and cranny is covered with the flour. You want to pat it gently, just like you would pat a baby. Ever so gently, pat it, pat it, pat it. Make sure that powder is covering every nook and cranny. And then you're going to shake it off and put it on a plate to sit for a minute. Okay? So just let it sit just for a minute and work on another piece of fish or another fillet. So I tend to work 2 at a time. You know, I like to fry 2 pieces of fish at a time. So follow the same process, cover it with some flour, and then we will be ready for the oil. Pat, pat, pat. And then shake off the excess flour. So one way to test that your oil is hot enough is to add some onion to it. And also the onion stops your house from smelling too fishy. So I'm going to add the fish to my oil gently away from me. You notice what I did there? I put the piece in away from me so that it doesn't splash on me. Okay, that wasn't so elegant, but you see what I'm saying, right? And make sure the fire is hot. You don't want it on the highest level. You want it kind of medium. And then you're going to let this fry on either side for at least 4 minutes each. So for a total about 7 to 10 minutes at most, because you know fish cooks fast. You want it kind of nice and golden. You see that little onion there? It also gives the oil a little flavor. So while my fish is frying, I move on to, coat the next 2 pieces of fish. So you kind of have to work in tandem, kind of like that multitasking thing. You fry, you cover with flour, you go back to it. My fish is done. It honestly doesn't take a long time. So here you have delicious, crispy fried fish. Ooh, child, if you could taste this fish. All of a sudden, I'm back in South Carolina, sitting in the car waiting for Kenton to come back with my pieces of fish after work. All right, we're ready to eat. Let's go ahead and plate our potatoes. Yum, look at that color, crispy, hot. Come in with the fish. Yes, 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 yes. Add some lemon. And then here comes the coleslaw. I'm telling you, this stuff is so good. This is now my best new way to eat cabbage raw. That apple cider with all the spice, it just hits so well with the fish. And then, if you're in the South, you gotta hit it with some ketchup and some Tabasco sauce. And maybe even some mustard, but I'm not a fan of mustard, so this is how I choose to eat it. Yes. Telling you, this fish tastes even better than it looks. Do you see the nice flaky fish? Do you see that crust? Do you see? Oh my goodness, I really wish you could taste it right now. But you're gonna taste it because hopefully you'll try this recipe. Hopefully you'll try this recipe. It is so good. Thank you so much for watching. What was your favorite? The fried fish, the seasoned potatoes, or the coleslaw? Let me know. Bye, and thanks for watching again. Don't forget to watch another video since you're still here.